Hi everyone, this is the fourth YouTube video, and today I'm going to talk about the importance of practicing love. And this one is inspired by a Brené Brown workshop that I was listening to yesterday in the car. And she said that she had yoga shoes and yoga leggings and a yoga mat and yoga books all over her house, but that she did not have a yoga practice. I know, that one really touched me very deeply inside, because when I heard that I thought of you and I thought of me, and especially with my new fledgling spirituality 10 years ago, when I realised that I had all these books and I had all of these spiritual friends and these spiritual clothes and these spiritual ways of being, but that I wasn't doing the practice. And just like with yoga, if I read books about yoga, it's not really going to do me much good when I'm actually trying to get into the yoga poses, and my body isn't going to reap the benefits. It's not actually going to change and become fitter and become healthier just because I'm wearing yoga pants or yoga shoes, or intellectually I know the benefits of yoga. It's going to take me actually practicing yoga. And it's the same thing in your intimate relationships. It's not enough to have read a lot of books or to, try to look nice, or to talk really deeply or intellectually on these emotional topics that we're discussing. Loving somebody is a state of being. And it's a delicious state of being, but it is one that takes practice. Now, over time, we start to stack negative memories of our partners, not intentionally. It just starts to happen because we live in a world where the fear mind is still predominantly in control. And when this happens, especially when they get something wrong, even if it's something minor wrong, we start to give it meaning that's really doesn't serve us and doesn't serve the relationship. And these stories that we tell ourselves about our partner, oh, they don't care, or they don't respect me, or they don't love me, they're really powerful. They're powerful because you're programming not just your subconscious mind, but you're programming your partner. 80% of communication is nonverbal. So I can give my partner indirect cues about what I think of them and how I want them to behave, which is how we end up often, we say, oh my God, every partner I've had has been just like my father. Yes, partly that's the law of attraction, but partly it's also that the way you behave programs the people around you to pretty much give you the family system that you were born from. You didn't learn these behaviors consciously. You learned them from modeling your parents. And your partner isn't learning these behaviors from you consciously. They don't act like your parent, your father, or your ex-boyfriend to piss you off. They act that way because you're indirectly, through your body language, through the words you're not thinking about using, programming them to be that way. So, it's very, very important to focus, to have a practice of focusing on the good inside your partner, of affirming that good all the time, and of really being very, very careful with your body language and with your thoughts around your partner. Taking 5 minutes every day to think of how you met, to think of all the kind things your partner's ever done for you, to think of every bill they've helped to pay, every meal they've shared with you, every time they took you to the cinema, every time you made love, every kind word they've ever said, and to replay over and over and over until you get this amazing feeling inside your body every day. It's one of the most powerful practices for returning to love. And to give it time, especially when you've been not practicing love. Now, the ego would convince us a lot of the time that we are practicing love when we're really, really not. And your partner is another very, very intelligent being. They can tell whether or not you're actually loving them. And often, because we're so programmed to be in denial about our own part in creating the co-creation of things, especially in relationships. If you're taught since you're a little girl or a little boy that relationships just happen, that you'll magically fall in love with somebody, and that when you do, that what happens after that is random. It's just chance, that you have very little, very small part to play in what happens. then obviously when things start going wrong in our relationships and we don't understand what's going on and we have no education around it, and I mean no education around it, most of us, unless even when you've been through therapy, most of it doesn't focus directly on intimate relationships. And I'd say about 99% of it doesn't talk about body language or programming. We're at an utter loss. It's like somebody who's never read being asked to read, and the consequence of not being able to read is that you don't make it in your marriage, or you don't make it in your intimate relationships. So education is a very, very important thing, but the practice that comes with it is a physical practice and an emotional affirmation of the person that you're with. So today is all about developing an intimate practice, a practice of looking at your partner and telling them every day how wonderful they are, and of giving it time to work. I mean, this is not, you're planting seeds here. This is not going to work overnight. The seeds that you plant now will be sprouting in the summertime. So it's very important to realize that, when you plant a seed and you don't see it shoot up through the ground instantly, you don't go and get angry at the seed and pull it up from the ground and start swearing blue murder and say, plants don't grow, this doesn't work. It's the same thing with a new thought system. When you start planting new thoughts or behaviors or energies around your relationship and around your partner, you have to give them time to work. There is a time where they're underground, growing roots, beginning to sprout, and you have to give them daily water, daily food, daily nurturing, and just the time and the space to mature. And it's the same thing with your new behavior. Most of us, when we try a new practice in our relationship, we try for a day or we try for half a day, and then we're like, this doesn't work. When the truth is, our habits that we've gotten into, our bad relationship habits, took a lot longer than a couple of days to work. And if you think about how your partner treated you in the beginning, and how kind they were, and how thoughtful and how funny, and where they've gotten to now, either shut down or angry or irritated, it took a while for them to get there. It didn't happen overnight. It took weeks or months of either passive-aggressive or actively aggressive behavior. It took a long time of you not being happy for them to start to defend themselves and build walls around their heart, around you. And it's going to take a lot more responsibility than just, I'm picking up their energy. It's going to take a lot more than being spiritually ditzy in relationships and saying, I'm an empath, or I can read people's, cognitive thoughts, or I'm picking up this energy and it's just too negative and I can't cope with it. It's going to take real honesty and realizing, okay, I contributed to the co-creation of this energy and I take 100% responsibility for what's in that space. And we're all masters at living at about 95%. So it's really important to get up from that 95% to 100% and just say, okay, I did this. I may not know how I did this, and this is part of what I'm learning in this lifetime. I'm learning how I consciously co-create. But I did do this. And if I allow it to be, this problem could turn into a massive opportunity and a beautiful practice that will serve me not just for this lifetime, but for many lifetimes to come. It's that bridge between the mind and the heart. You're taking all this theory, all these workshops, all these books, all this beautiful willingness to love into the actual practice of daily showing gratitude, daily showing appreciation, daily showing sexual desire, daily showing emotional desire, daily actually feeling loving and exciting. And the way you know if you're loving someone is that you feel good. And the resistance that you'll experience loving somebody is the most hilarious thing. Loving somebody is free. Loving somebody is easy. Loving somebody feels good. But it's going to be hilarious when you try to love somebody, especially your partner, when after a fight or during an argument, it's going to feel like the craziest thing on the planet because the ego's on absolute red alert. So it's really important to just take those deep breaths, work with energy and colors, consciously just say to yourself, I'm willing to release my resistance to loving this person. I'm willing to cut all the cords to the different situations which I've given my power to, or to the different experiences of them or aspects of their personality which I've decided are more powerful than my love. And trusting that there is something inside your relationship, there's divine intelligence there. The same thing that turns the sapling into an oak tree and the embryo into a baby. It's the same thing that knows how to take this hardness inside your heart or inside your relationship and transform it into unconditional love and into a balance. That you don't have to do it, you just have to get out of the way and allow it to happen. So the first step is just disconnecting from your current practice of either shutting down or getting angry or putting some form of negativity, withdrawing. Neutral comes under that a lot. I'm just neutral about everything. That's still withholding love from the relationship. And setting into motion every day, working passion, working patience, working peace, working unconditional love and approval until you build trust enough again that the heart starts to open. And just remembering to be really patient and really gentle and really kind as you do this, because this is a very, very courage requiring process. You need a lot of courage here. You can get your heart broken, you can get hurt. It takes courage to love. It doesn't take much courage to fear. And it does create a huge amount of pain. Yes, loving creates pain, but it creates the pain of birthing a new reality, a new relationship, a new way of being. And you get new life from it, literally. Whereas the ego is the pain of death. It goes the exact opposite direction. So feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to have them. And if you have any ideas for other YouTube videos, I can't wait to hear them. So love you all very much, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.